Well, I'll tell you what, it's the first. I'll tell you what, first safety car we've had in Spa. This is going to do wonders for Indigo and Speed, but I'll tell you who's going to be really ticked off with this. Andre. Andre's going to be absolutely annoyed. He built up such a massive gap, beautiful gap. But I have to say though, fair play to Indigo. He's gone from what, 14th?
13th.
To
Yeah,
second, and in
13th to
laps.
second. That is absolutely top notch, top quality. Now, I wonder if Andre has got a big enough gap that he might actually think on pitting. I wonder if anyone's actually going to risk that. I mean, we are only into the end of lap 5 on this race, so you would think that people would not make a pit stop, but you know, anything could happen. So I'm actually going to.
No, I don't. I don't think so. I mean, Andre's still staying out on the track, and let's see what Indigo does. No, he's staying out as well. So I think everybody.
I think people at the back may make a pit stop. Just
possibly. There is. I think somebody. Yes, somebody has made a pit stop. It looks like.
Yeah, the 3 people at the back. Yeah, 2. 3 people. Actually 4 people now. RC for life. He's pitting in for the Marussia. We've got UK Dark Predator pitting. We have Ascassin pitting and Piper. So the back 4 people are pitting. Probably the right thing to do. And fresh option tyres for them now. So they're going to have the extra grip.
Well, I have to say, I do feel for Tom Chambers. I have to say, I do feel for him because, you know, he's done exceptional work. He was doing really well, having a really good battle at some point, and then he sort of just backed off. But not really good for these guys. But this will give the other guys to just catch up and stuff like that. But as you say, they've got a fresh set of options. But this is all about saving your fuel as well. So you just got to change your fuel and yeah, I do feel sorry for Tom.
Well, I'm just looking at the lap times here that people did, and Andre's best lap is a 1 minute 50.3. Now the next person who's quickest to that is NMR Mr. Indigo, half a second slower nearly.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, you know, but bearing in mind, actually, you've got to look at this point of view. That's impressive for Mr. Indigo, if you think about it, because he's had to go through traffic to get that, and he's only half a second slower. So that's pretty impressive from Indigo, if you think about it.
Maybe Indigo is Andre's biggest challenge here, as there is somebody stopped.
Yeah, I think so.
Just before Eau Rouge, and that's UK. UK Dark Predator. He's on the old grid, and he stopped.
Why has he stopped?
Yes, Milo, he's stopped. I know, it's amazing, isn't it? Now, if he's not careful, he's been stopped. He's been stationary, I think, for well over a minute because he made his pit stop, and now he's been disqualified as a result of that.
Right. Okay. What was that all about?
I'm not quite sure. So let's change things. We've lost 2 drivers now, and we are now, and he's now left the session.
Lost 3, actually. We lost 3 drivers.
3? Have we?
We did. We lost Tom Chambers.
2.
No, 3. Indigo. 3. 2. We've lost 2. Sorry.
Don't question
Indigo
me.
lagged out and they qualified. Shut up, you. Sorry, Dr. Doolittle, you know what I mean? You carry on talking to your dog.
Very funny.
Milo.
Very funny. Well, we're going to have the safety car for yet another lap, so another very slow, probably a 3-minute lap roughly to come. So, actually, seeing as though I've kind of forgotten, actually, because I'm an absolute idiot, who are we watching again? Seeing as though that's kind of changed things now, we've lost 2 drivers.
Well, at the moment, I'm currently, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. But at the moment, the race leader is Andre, doing a very, very good job, set the fastest pace, done very, very extremely well. Big shout out to Mr. Indigo, he's gone from 13th to 2nd, an awesome performance there from him. And then F1X Speed qualified 3rd. He's had to battle his way from Smithical, and also, but he will be disappointed because he should have been in 2nd place now. But that's not going to help his the championship league. Then you got Santos to BRFC again. He had a bit of a battle, but then he made a big mistake with speed. And now I don't know if that was a little bit of a touch or he just sort of lost control of his car. But then that just opened the door for Indigo to take 3rd and then 2nd, literally. So. That one. Smithical, he's going to be a little bit disappointed, but again, still not that bad. He's not going to lose a huge amount of points, but it's all about points between these two because I'm gonna say that Smithical, he's like the professor really at the end of the day, because he could just pick up some points. He doesn't have to worry about himself. All he's got to worry about is where Wes finishes. If he finishes 4th and Wes finishes 5th, that's more points he can catch to bet into the championships. They could be interesting on that one.
Indeed.
Then we got K's outgoing. Caused an incident with Tom Chambers. Didn't see it, but obviously Bobbers did. He's done pretty okay at 151.2 for his first race in the Williams, but I think he might have to watch his surroundings. His problem is with new drivers, it's your first race, and it's all about you're very nervous and stuff like that, and things can happen. It's just one of those things. John Digweed for he's on the prime tyres, so he's on a different strategy, but obviously he came in for a new set of tyres, so that was quite a good idea.
Oh no, it wasn't him that pitted, it was his teammate.
Well, I've got John Digweed, and he's on a set of, is it John Digweed? Or was it? Or was it Assassin?
No, John Digweed has started.
He's actually on a set prime.
He started on the primes, yes. There's three people, people have pitted after UK DAT Predators left. That's Pied Piper, Assassin, and RFC for life.
Well, okay, so you got Assassin in 10th for the other Ferraris. So far you got a Ferrari in a point. RC for life. Where's his teammate? And we'll see if the safety car's going to come in soon.
Maybe at the end of this lap. So, right, just before we get going, I just want to make sure I'm watching the right people. So I'm doing Marussia, Force India, Red Bull, and what was the other one?
You're doing, I'm doing, and the Ferrari, because I'm doing the Mercedes, I'm doing the Ferrari, Mercedes, and the Williams. You're doing the Force India.
Right, okay, so...
Toro Rosso, Force India, Toro Rosso, and Marussia.
Well, here we go once again now. Enema Mr. Indigo trying to keep onto the back of Andre, but Andre's kind of left him for dead. And in fairness, Indigo's done the same to Speed. F1 Speed has had a shocking restart, and Samster BRFC is pretty close to the back of him. There will be no DRS on this first restart lap, but he's going to have the slipstream as they come up through Eau Rouge now. The beginning of lap 8, and F1 Speed made a slight mistake at the top of Radion. Samson has had a much better run. He's not going to have the DRS, but look at the overspeed of that Toro Rosso in the slipstream of F1 Speed. Close to the inside line as they're coming towards Lacoum now. Can Samson get it stopped in time? Oh, giving each other just enough room. Very clean and fair from these two drivers. And through Lacoum, Samster takes the position. Right, and Smithical now is right behind.
Right behind, yeah. Here we go. It's the nemesis of Speed. He knows. Smithical is just sniffing, you know what I mean? And Wes has got to be very careful.
Oh, Samson's made a mistake. Samson's made a mistake, and Wes is going to be, F1 Speed's going to be on the inside into Pouon. And he's made that stick! Fantastic! F1 Speed! I tell you what, look at the gap the front two have got already. That is ridiculous!
But you know what? I don't care, because we've got a lovely little battle here. We've got a three-car battle.
In fact, we've got a four-way battle, because the Williams of KS Outgoings on this, and then we've got the Ferrari. Is that John Digweed in the Ferrari?
That is John Digweed. And
Smithical.
Smithical.
Oh no! Samson's gone wide into the gravel. And that's cost the parent. Here comes KS Outgoing. He's got ahead of Samson through the slipstream as they come into Blanchimon. Is he going to go for a move on the outside in Blanchimon? No, he's going to cut to the inside. Gets a bit of a nudge from Sanster into the bus stop chicane. Oh, he's tried to.
Oh dear. K's Outgoing.
I think he tried to avoid Smithical. If anything, Smithical actually hit the back of F1 Speed through the first part of the bus stop chicane. But this is now a five-way battle. John Digweed is now on the back of this, so this is the battle for the third down into 7th. Out in front, Indigo is keeping with Andre, so maybe I was right in the fact of that maybe Andre's biggest challenger is NMR Mr. Indigo, and maybe we can see that sometime later on. But there's still this five-way battle for the final podium paying position. KS Outgoing up through Eau Rouge. I wonder if they're going to have DRS actually. And indeed they do.
They have got DRS, yeah. They have got DRS. DRS is now
Rapids
wide
retired?
Open. Oh, RC Rapids is retired? What's happened there? Wow.
Nonetheless, Smithical's made a move.
Smithical has overtaken on Wes, and that is going to wind Wes up big time. Smithical, as I call him, the professor, he's made the move, and he's in the final. He's in the third place at the moment, but he's going to have Wes all over him. And this is what's going to happen, because K's Outgoing is just sitting back, watching this battle ensue between these two, the championship leaders fighting for positions. And the thing is, looking at it, this could, well, let's just say, for example, like if Smithical finishes now, he'll claw back 3 points on Wes for the championship.
indeed, and every point is going to count. And you know, with his teammate up in P2, maybe he could ask him, maybe at the end of the race, if team orders were to come to play, to pull over and get in the extra 3 more points, which will help him later on.
I don't know if he would go down that far. I think, you know, in the day, obviously, he'll love the fact that he's holding up Wes. But here comes Wes now. He's now literally pushing up against Smithfield, but he's not going to make the move before the turn. So let's see what happens between these two. Smithfield's gone a little bit too deep, but made the move stick, and yeah, that's done really well. But I'll tell you what, here comes Wes. He's now got DRS, and he's going to make the move, but we'll see what happens coming up to this. Have a look at this nice little turn. I'll tell you what, I have to say though, they are... Oh, Smithfield's made a mistake, and there goes Wes. He's got him on the outside. Literally comes to a roof, but that's going to be a bad mistake.
That's a bad mistake from Wes, yeah, because Smithfield's now going to have the DRS as they come down the Camel Straight. He's already going to pull alongside out of the slipstream, and indeed, there you go, flap opens wide up for the false India, and he's just going to retake that position. Here comes KS Outgoing, he's getting in the slipstream. He's going to dive on the inside of F1 Speed. No, F1 Speed shuts the door. F1 Speed shuts the door right on him. I tell you what, I'm going to have a look at the front two just very briefly to have a look, and Indigo is all over the back of Andre. He's set at 150.5 now as Indigo, so he's right on the money with Andre, so this could be a good battle to watch later on, as I mentioned. But let's get back on board with this. Well, it's still a 5-car train, and you know, John Digweed on those prime tyres is sticking with them. You know, this could help him out later in the race. Maybe he's the one to watch out for.
Well, John Digweed has got a different strategy.
Oh, sorry to cross you, but KS Outgoing, a much better run out of Pooh on the F1 Speed round the outside of Campus. Can he get this done? He's got the inside for the next corner. Can he get this done?
Yeah,
into Stavilo. He's going to have to give up, is he? Oh.
No, he's not.
He's going to try it into Kerbal for it. And, well, F1 Speed, good defending in the end. Great driving from the pair of them. But that's allowed Smithfield to get away and have a bit of a sigh of relief and a bit of a breathing space. And KS Outgoing has now got the slipstream, but here comes Samster now on the outside of Blanchimon, attempting to get past the KS Outgoing, not happening. And I tell you what, Escassin's now joining on this. KS Outgoing on the inside to the bus stop chicane.
Oh, let's have a look. What
F1
happened?
Speed. Oh, here comes Samster.
Nice
Here comes Samster. Oh, I thought that he just got a slightly better traction, KS Outgoing. But yes, John Digweed and Escassin are now right on the back of this battle as a result of all this going on. Into La Source. We're only a quarter away to this race, and this is just absolutely fantastic. As one of the Ferraris just made a bit of a mistake there out of La Source. But KS Outgoing has lost a little bit of ground to F1 Speed, but I don't think F1 Speed's going to be within the DRS of Smithfield, so I think this should be moved on. But look at this, Samster and the Ferrari. Is that? I think it's John Digweed, and Samster's got the slipstream.
And here goes Samster, he's got speed.
And here comes the Ferrari.
And KS Outgoing's going to make the move, and has he made the move stick?
Into the coupe.
I don't know if he has. No, he hasn't. Oh,
he has.
Yes, he has.
And John Digweed trying to go around the outside. John Digweed's on the grass. F1 Speed takes that 6th place back. But yes, KS Outgoing has made the move on F1 Speed finally. But instead he's actually stayed where he was, because Samson made a double move there with the slipstream and the DRS. So that just shows what can happen if you have, if you're not alongside somebody, if you've got the slipstream behind, you just gain that extra few miles per hour, and it can pay off big time, and it has for Samson.
I think I don't know if they're going to do a 2-stop strategy. I reckon it's probably better.
I think because of that safety car, they'll do a 2-stop now.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens, because I think, you know, at the end of the day, these tyres, it looks as if some of the tyres for some of the cars, the option tyres, are starting to wear off a little bit. You can see Wes, he's having a few issues with his car, and he's all over the back of KS Outgoing. But KS Outgoing is just literally making his car really big, making it absolutely difficult for Wes to try and get past him. But I'll tell you what, he made a bit of a mistake there, but again, he's still got that position now. Let's see what happens in these last 2 corners. Nicely taken now, and again, but here comes Wes. Wes has got a nice exit, and there he goes, lovely, straight past him.
I'll tell you what, the only person who's out of this fully is the Pied Piper, who's down in P10. I just saw him actually go into the gravel, and so he's having a shocker of a race. So, you know, the front 2 have got a big gap, but then it's from 3rd down to 9th, so that's Smithfield 3rd and RSC for Life, who's 9th. Any one of these guys...
Here comes KS Outgoing. KS Outgoing has got Wes in the slipstream, literally in the slipstream. He's going to take him, he's going to have DRS as well. And there you go, he's got it wide open, and off he goes, straight into 5th place again.
Pied Piper retires,
the Pied Piper has retired. That is, well, see, this is my annoyance, right, okay, and I do apologise about this, guys, but I just think, you know, okay, if you hit the gravel, so be it. Just carry on your race, just carry on doing what you're doing. If you're going to pick up some points, you're going to pick up points. That's the main thing, you know, it's all about points.
And what do points make, Tomo?
Oh, points.
Exactly, well done.
Oh dear, well, it's been a bad day for the Mercs.
A bad day, definitely a bad day at the office, hasn't it? But still, you know, we've got 9 drivers here still in this race. A lot can still happen. You know, we do still have the best part of 32 laps remaining here. But it's been a very eventful first dozen laps, and I hope the next dozen can be exactly the same. And out in front, I think Andre has pulled about a second and a half to maybe a 2-second gap over Mr. Indigo, but Indigo's keeping him more than honest. And, you know, any maybe undercuts or something, a different strategy may help him. But we'll have to see how things pan out as KS Outgoing is under pressure from F1 Speed. The only battle really actually, I say that there is a battle for P8 going on as well. As KS Outgoing went a little...
Oh, I tell you what, that was brilliantly ran those corners there from KS Outgoing. That was awesome.
It looked like he went a little wide initially, but then he seemed to get a better line through the second part. And yeah, he's managed to maintain the gap. But the problem he's got is F1 Speed's going to have the DRS. But saying that, KS Outgoing may have the same advantage as Samster. He may not be close enough to make a move on Samster.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. He's a bit too far away on this one.
Oh, look at F1 Speed. He's flying through Eau Rouge on my screen. KS Outgoing getting a little bit north. Indeed, he doesn't. Box opens, and that's an easy move in the end.
He is, and I have to say, it's been a quite enjoyable first 12 laps. Not as good as Oh, that was beautiful.
F1 Speed back on the inside, but no, fantastic.
That was really good work.
That was brilliant.
Fantastic defending there from KS Outgoing. That was brilliant defending. He gave him enough room, but just gave, you know, just closed the door, went, no,
one of the Ferraris there, I believe that's John Digweed who's scouting. I'll get on and have a look, because they're now in P7 and on the back of this, and indeed it is John Digweed on those prime tyres. So he's doing a stellar job still, is John Digweed on these prime tyres, and he's setting decent pace. It's KS Outgoing has gone a little wide through Stabilo, and as now as they come through Curb Paul Ferrer, and this is now turned in from a 2 to a 3-way battle.
Oh, Wes went a little bit too deep. A little bit too deep, but let's get on board with John Digweed, because he's right behind here. He's on the prime tyres. Oh, look at this. This could be interesting. And he has to back up a little bit because he doesn't want to hit any of these two. But on prime tyres, that's pretty impressive. I told you the Ferraris have got some pace, but didn't know they had this much pace. And Wes has
he's going for the undercut. He's going for the undercut. I'm going to go on board with him and see what tyres he goes onto. This will be interesting.
Well, I'll tell you what, John Digweed, he's now up to 6th, but he's going to have a really good exit out of this. He's got a fantastic exit on KS Outgoing, and that's going to literally get him in a slipstream, and he'll pass him. And bearing in mind, he's done 14 laps on these top prime tyres. This is a great start from him. Here he goes. He's got the slipstream, lovely in the slipstream, and he's going to literally give KS Outgoing something to think about. And there he goes, makes the move absolutely superbly up to 5th.
F1 Speed's gone for the prime tyres as RC for Life has just made a DRS move on the back of Ascassin for P7, and Ascassin has actually got front wing damage. He's missing a front right end plate on his Ferrari, so he's going to be struggling with downforce through this middle sector, and he can clearly see through there the difference between an end plate missing and a full wing, and RC for Life should be able to pull away.
I'll tell you what, this little battle between John Digweed is pulling away. I think KS Outgoing needs to pit. Those tyres are going. Those tyres are definitely going on that car. So I think, you know, the prime tyres are definitely the right tyres to call. But, you know, it depends. You know, some of these drivers have come in, they've done another stint, and obviously they've fully pitted. So
the thing is, they can extend their stints because of that safety car. They wouldn't have been putting much wear on their tyres for 2 laps. So they could probably extend. They could extend it.
As well. Yeah, but you got to remember as well. You got to take in consideration some of these guys have been in really big battles with each other for a little bit of time. The only 2 people that have actually been away from this has been. Hello. We've got the. I think that is Andre, who's pitted. Let's just have a quick look. I think. Yeah, Andre.
Oh, KS Outgoing's just missed the pit lane.
Oh no, it's Mr. Indigo.
KS Outgoing has just messed up his entry into the pit lane, and he's hit the wall and he's lost an end play. I'm going to stay on board and see if it actually changes his wing, because if it doesn't, his next stint is ruined.
I think they'll change his
Let's
wing.
have a look. Making his pit stop now. No wing change. Oh, and he's just got lag in the in his pit stop. Oh, and now it says that he's got a full wing. That's interesting. Even though it didn't change it on my screen, it's now apparently changed it. That's weird. But what it has done, he's lost a lot of time to F1 speed. So F1 speed's undercut him, and he's got about a 4-second gap over him for the time being.
Well, you know, it's not a very good start. But I have to say though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on board with our race leader, Andre, who's actually done 15, or almost 15 laps in these options. He's got a nice big gap, but I don't know, it's going to be very interesting, because obviously it depends if these tyres last getting around to this, but it seems to be doing pretty well. But Andre, obviously you was telling us about him, Bobbers. Anything else you want to tell us about him? Is he one of your proteges?
Well,
I mean, what's going on?
Well, he is obviously an Italian motor racer. He is actually friends with Ye22 of the F1 division, so, you know, maybe he could be helping one another, perhaps give a few hints and tips and strategies. So, you know, he said after the race last night that he wanted to join XRL, and obviously I was more than willing to oblige, and, you know,
Andre's pitted.
Indeed.
Andre has pitted, our race leader has pitted now.
Go on board with him and see what he goes on.
Smithical has pitted as well.
Andre on to prime. Andre goes on to prime tyres. Oh, he's been held up. He's been held up by the Ford. That Smithical may have helped his NMR Mr. Indigo there by holding him up. I think John Digweed takes the lead for the time being. Indeed, he does on his prime tyres. So he takes the lead at the moment. Andre, where is he going to come out?
Indigo, yeah.
Is that Indigo coming through La Source?
Indigo's already taken second place.
It is. That's Indigo. That's Indigo, and he's actually staying behind him because he wants the DRS and the slipstream. Damn, that is intelligent thinking from NMR Mr. Indigo. Up through Eau Rouge, he's trying to get to the slipstream of that Red Bull. There he goes. He pulls out of the slipstream, tries to pull alongside as they come through onto the Camel's Raid. DRS deployed. Can he get 100 of Andre? This is for the net lead, and NMR Mr. Indigo takes the lead. Well, takes the provisional. Well, he takes second, but what will be the net lead once John Digweed pits? My apologies there, viewers, for those who were confused.
Great move there from Indigo. He just held back. He was like, hold on a minute, hold on a second, I'll just hold back a little bit, get the slipstream, get the DRS, make the move stick. I'm on literally a lap older. You know, he's got a lap, used lap of prime tyres. So I'll get my teeth back in. Sorry about that. But you know, and the thing about it is with Andre, I know he's going to catch up with him, but at the same time, he's going to have to get those tyres up to temperature, and this is going to be really good for Indigo, because there you go, Andre's making a few mistakes because those tyres are not warm enough, and Indigo's going to pull away. It's going to be really interesting. This could be a really good battle for first, I have to say.
Indeed, well, it's all a case of now as to when John Digweed pits and where he's going to come out in relation to everybody. As the sun is now starting to shine over Spa-Francorchamps, and as John Digweed picked, nope, he stays out for yet another lap. Andre is, he's trying to be much later on the brakes into the bus stop, and he nearly actually got, you know, some sort of a move done there, but he stays behind Indigo. He's going to have the DRS down the pit straight in towards La Source, and he's definitely going to have it down the Campbell Straight, so he's probably thinking of trying to retake the lead. He's gone a little wide in through La Source actually, but managed to get decent traction on the exit. So yeah, I think this should be a case of, well, he will take the lead. It's not the DRS is that powerful. Was Indigo made a big mistake through Eau Rouge, and that's just going to help Andre even more. Going to make his job a lot easier. DRS deployed, pulls alongside, has the racing lineman through into towards Lagoon. Job done.
Well, I have to say though, that was very good. Oh, it's a bit of a corner cut there from Andre, but.
Just got to keep it together. Just made a slight mistake, you know. Just got to settle down, settle the nerves. You know, there's still a long way to go in this race. We're not even reached half race distance yet, but it has been a fantastic 17 laps so far.
As indeed. indeed. It's been really, really good between these two. These two, it's like a chess game between these two. Every time one person makes a really good move, the other guy turns around and says, I can take that and make it better. So, you know, and here's Andre under the pressure right now because Indigo's all over him, literally. I have to say, though...
this is going to be a fantastic battle throughout this race, I think, between these two.
Well, I'll tell you what, while we're watching that, there is another battle we should be watching, and that's between Smithical and Samster. Now, Smithical has got a little bit of a gap here. But
NMR Mr. Indigo's got the slipstream through Blanchimont. Andre's going to defend, is he? No, Indigo backs out. He wants the DRS, I think, down the Camel Straight. As Andre, well over the sausage curve.
Andre made a mistake
Gone over the sausage curve there.
Made a mistake. And John Digweed stays out for another lap. So obviously those prime tyres are doing him well at the moment, and he's keeping that gap. He's got a nice gap to these two.
If I was John Digweed, maybe pitting lap 20 would be the best thing. And do a dozen laps on the options.
Oh, Andre's made a bit of a mistake. Here we go, and here comes Indigo. He's literally flying up, massively flying up, and here he goes. Oh, he just literally glides past, absolutely goes past. He even gives him a little hiya, and as he goes past.
That'd be good. That would be good if you could actually wave at people as you go past them.
Or give him the flipping the bird as you go past. Ha ha ha! Got you.
What about the middle? What about giving them the middle finger? Oh wait, that would be. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be a 3-racing game then, would it? It'd be a PG or. Oh, Indigo's made it. Oh no, that's lag.
Yeah. No, that's lag from you because I'm sitting here watching Indigo and he's. Oh, though, here we go. He has a little bit of a problem now, and that's literally opened the door. Oh, no, it hasn't actually. I'll tell you what. Indigo's got a bit of a gap. Andre seems to be backing off a bit. Either Indigo's really, really quick or Andre's made a mistake. So this could be interesting. That's very interesting.
Indeed it is. So as they come through Curb Paul Ferrain now down this back straight, Andre's going to have the slipstream as they come towards Blanchimont and in the bus stop chicane. But it's a case of well, he's definitely closing. Look at the slipstream advantage. But is he going to make a move? Because he's got to think about that Indigo will have DRS if he was to get ahead. And he thinks wisely of it. Oh, Indigo makes a big mistake. Nope, lag.
I'll tell you what, though, the person I would be really unhappy sitting here thinking is Wes. He's currently in 6th place, and his championship rival, Smithical, is sitting 4th, and that is a big.
The problem Wes has had.
If the position stays as it is, sorry,
that's okay.
Interrupt you there. Smithical will pick up 12 points, and Wes, as it stands, will only pick up 6.
Andre with the DRS, and he's gone back out of Indigo. Sorry to cut across you, but what I was just about to say was the difference between Smithical and Wes in this race so far is when Smithical has made a move and with a group of people, he's then managed to pull away from them. Wes has not had that same luxury. He's not been able to get away.
No.
Well done.
After what happened with in Hockenheim, you know, he had a problem in Hockenheim since he lost his 9 podiums in a row. It's sort of, you know, he had a very good win in Hungary. Apparently, he won his race. I didn't see that, unfortunately.
Lucky.
His pace around here has been okay. Well, I didn't see it, so I can't comment on it.
Well, I'll tell you how it was. Indigo got 5-second lag, gifted Wes the lead in the win.
So yeah, lucky. So basically, and because of that, realistically, I don't think he's really got over it. I know he keeps on saying, "Oh yeah, I got the win" and stuff like that, but it's really shown in this race because his pace hasn't been as good as the others. I mean, all right, we talk about Andre, we talk about Indigo, we talk about Smithical and Samster. And also even John Digweed. And John, I think, John Digweed has...
No, he's not pitted. Nope, he's staying out again.
That's pretty good. So he's doing really, really well. But that gap is dropping ever so slightly now. You know, it has been dropping for the last couple of laps. So I reckon those tyres are coming to a point where he's either thinking, do you know what, if I get a set of options out, or he might even go for another set of primes and then hit the options the last stint. You don't know. It's a bit of a typical one on a Spa. You know, everybody has their own strategy, and it depends on how it goes. But getting back to Wes, sorry about that.
Alright.
I was starting off the topic now. The thing with Wes is, I don't know, it just seems to me that he's just not got his mojo right. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
I see where you're coming from.
Sort of thing. But we never know. I mean, he could have a really bad race, and then all of a sudden out of Monza he could have an awesome race. But I think at the moment the tide is shifting in Smithical's favour. That's where I look at it at the moment.
Indeed, I couldn't really agree with you more, actually. Sticking on, actually just mentioning about this battle between Ricardo XV has just sent me a message. I'll read that in a Have I disconnected yet? No, I have not disconnected yet. Bugger off. It's past 9 o'clock. I can say that. But yes. Anyways, as I was saying, Indigo I think is starting to be a little bit conservative now because he had the DRS on Andre, but he's not making a move. Maybe I save his tyres a little bit as John Digweed stays out for another lap.
Oh, lagged out.
Massive lag spike from Indigo.
Also, Indigo, yeah, but hey, I'll tell you what, he's got himself right back into this battle now. And there's John Digweed right right at the front, and Andre seems to be having a few problems. He's made a couple of mistakes there, and that's just literally opened the door for Indigo. So he's going to have him on Eau Rouge and his DRS straight as well. But you can see John Digweed just going straight up. So that time is coming down, and yeah, there goes Andre. He's made a massive mistake.
Doesn't really matter. Indigo DRS inside line, pull back to the racing line before the Lacoon section. Nicely done. Back into second.
Smooth as a baby's bottom.
How many babies? Has anybody actually asked you this? How many babies' bottoms have you touched?
That's a bit wrong. See, that is just wrong. I can't believe it. That on the stream.
It's the watershed.
Really,
I don't care.
Man, that is just wrong. There's something seriously wrong with you. Get it sorted.
Another message from Ricardo. Indigo goes very wide at Puan on that particular occasion. But, right, I suppose that's going to make what Ricardo has to say for himself. Probably nothing new, but there you go.
No. Be nice now.
Look, did you see and hear what he was saying on the stream last night about marrying Wes?
Well, you know, at the end of the day, obviously, Ricardo he's weird in his own right. You know, he's just, that's why we love him at Tier 6. He's an awesome bloke, you know, he's quite a good laugh. He does come out with some weird things, but, everybody needs a joker.
Well, saying that, he said there's still 24 laps left, anything can happen. He's got a point.
Very true. Very, very true, but we're almost at a halfway point in this race, and it's been a very entertaining 21 laps. But I have to say, I'm very disappointed with GP3 because, to be very honest, at this point we had more drivers in the F1 division than GP3 at this point. That's very disappointing.
Yeah, but it's the end of the race that matters, and if these 9 still stay in, that's the same as the F1 division, as Andre now has the DRS open on the back of Edamame, soon to go down the Camel Straight. And it's the move done once over again. It's too easy. It's too easy to overtake.
Well, it is too easy, but the fact of the matter is, these two are literally 1 minute, one of them overtakes, the other one overtakes the other, and the fact that it's all about chess. It's making your moves stick. You know what I mean? It's always,
Do you know what I think?
Never underestimate your opponent.
This is my personal opinion, but this race, I think, it's between these two for the win. May not have to discount Smithical and Samster, actually. They're about 5 seconds off this pairing. But if it was between these two, what's going to win one of them this race is going to be the undercut.
Yeah, I think so. I do definitely think so. It depends on how long they stay out on these set of
well, I believe they're going to be trying 2 stopping, so probably lap 31, 32.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but I think, personally speaking, I reckon they'll probably be about lap 30, I reckon.
Lap 30,
and then
14 laps.
14 laps.
Well,
14 laps you can do on
the problem with
easily.
these options is, yes, they can last that distance, but the actual best grip of these tyres go within about 6 laps. After that, you just lose time consistently, and the prime tyres actually come quicker. So I'd rather do a slightly shorter stint. As actually, Edimar Mr. Indigo has fallen out of the DRS of Andre. He didn't have DRS down the in towards the source into turn 1, but I'll tell you one thing, I think Andre is definitely closing in on the back of John Dig. I wonder if John Digweed's trying to one-stop.
Maybe.
I think he's trying to one-stop. Oh, no, Indigo does have DRS, but it's not close enough.
Indigo does have DRS, but you have enough, because obviously, you know, John Digweed is going to hold up Andre, and this is going to open the door for Indigo, I reckon. This could be a very interesting turn of events, because we've all been worrying, you know, obviously we've been sitting here enjoying the battle between Andre and Indigo, but now all of a sudden, now they've caught up with John Digweed, and John Digweed is going to make it very difficult for Andre to try and take over, because he doesn't have to give, he doesn't have to make it, doesn't have to make room for him or anything like that at all. He's going to try and keep
the problem for John.
I know that obviously his tyres.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's
his tyres are different strategy.
14 lap difference between John's tyres to Edimar Mr. Indigo's and 15 to Andre's.
Yeah, but here's the thing. John Digweed, this is where I think this is going to come into play, and this is where I think Indigo is going to sit back and just watch how it goes, because all it needs is Andre to get really frustrated and try and get past John Digweed and make a mistake. Go in the gravel, spin out, or maybe lose a little bit of time. That opens the door for Indigo to come flying in. You can see him trying to catch up with John Digweed. He's doing a really good job. But he'll get frustrated after a period of time, and then if that happens, then you know, we'll see what happens with that one.
John.
Straight away, you see there.
John made it. We went very deep into the bus stop chicane. I think Andre's not going to wait. That might be a wrong decision, unless he's going to let John stay and hang it on the inside into the source. No, he's gone round the outside.
Oh no, John Digweed's got it. John Digweed's got it. And it's got a good exit. And I told you, it's all about.
Tell you
now,
what.
look who's right in the background. Indigo's caught up with these two, and he's going to have slipstream on Andre and DRS on both Andre.
I think Andre is just far enough away to maintain ahead of Indigo as he's trying to make a move on John Digweed. Indigo's trying to do the same, but he's not going to be even close enough to make the move. So now there's a car in between Andre and Edimar Mr. Indigo. But say that Indigo's making a move through the coupe. Oh,
look at that! Indigo goes.
Fan bloody tastic. Oh, he went too far on the inside into Bruxelles, but still. Fan bloody tastic, Edimar Mr. Indigo. That was a great move.
See, I'll tell you what, right there, he just turned around at Andre and went, you know what, it took you a lap to get past him, and I did it literally, not even with a quarter of a lap in. That's absolutely amazing.
The problem now is there's about a 2-second gap between him and Andre.
It is. But we'll see what happens, because we saw it last night with Nicole. You know, Nicole was doing fantastic well. She had a massive gap. Then she lost her focus for 2 seconds. Next thing you know, she went in the gravel, and then Broughton came flying back into it. So it only takes one little mistake, just one little miss of concentration, and then bang,
well,
that's it.
You say that about Nicole. Broughton did the same himself when he lost that end plate, and that's what cost him any chance of battling for the victory. I nearly said it in German then for the Wien. I was trying to be a bit German and use a V instead of a W.
I would have.
John Digweed pits. John Digweed is in the pits. Right, I'm actually going to go on board. Have I gone the wrong way? Yes, I have gone the wrong way. Let's see what he got. Well, let's see if he goes on to options. And
apologies for my my co-commentator here, ladies and gentlemen. You know, he means well. He does mean well.
I think it was that incident that I had with Yi that's kind of knocked it out of me.
Yeah, of course.
But John Digweed has come out onto the option tyre, so that's 19 laps. He's actually 20 laps, really, that he's going to have to do. Doable, but it's not really worth it now because he's that far behind. He's had to go for it now because, you know, he stayed out that long, but I think it's cost him. And so actually, looking at this, you know, Samsner and Smithical are still lapping, you know, respectively compared to the two leaders, and they're not too far off. Or something a bit wide. through Dave, as Disney Cupid has actually sent me a message. You're meant to be racing GP2. Oh. Okay, I'll keep that one private to myself. But anyways, well, yeah. So back with Samson Smith, running P3 and 4 at the moment, lapping, really well actually. They're very consistent, these two, and they're not far off the two in front. But Samson hasn't quite got that extra tenth that he needs to catch up on Smithical to get in the DRS zone.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just in board watching. I'm just doing my checks at the moment. Just watching Assassin as we speak. So. He's doing pretty well. I mean, he's on the prime tyres, but his fastest time is a 150.11, which is well off the pace. Everybody else is doing 150.
Well, it's all down to the tyres that they're on. Yeah, but
Well, it's actually all down to setup. The setup is not the right one. I said this last night. The tyre wear will work. I mean, we saw some F1 drivers coming in after lap 11. For example, a big shout out to Shadowhunter XD. He did 11 laps on his primes and made a mistake, and thought I'll go onto the options and it'll give me some extra grip, and it didn't. In actual fact, it actually really hurt him. He hurt his race. And even some of the F1 drivers were coming in. You came in on lap 11, 12 on the options, where these guys have been lasting them for 14, 15 laps. So. It's all down to your setup, I believe. So that's just my argument.
Well, I easily could have said, but after what happened to me, I had to try something different to try and maybe gain something. But in the end, I actually didn't gain anything nor lose anything, so it didn't matter in the end.
Well,
God loves it. God loves a trier.
God loves a trier. Yeah, but he doesn't love a bottler, though, does he?
Why haven't you won a race then?
Oh, well, because unfortunately I'm not that good. But I'm quite happy to sit here and say, yes, I am not that good, but I am improving. That's the difference. So
that's all that matters.
I don't walk around. I don't walk around giving it all the big one.
Neither do I, really.
Now, see, I didn't say anything. You've got a guilty conscience there, Adam. You need to sort that out.
Me? Guilty conscience? Never!
Yeah, absolutely. I can smell it from a mile away.
No, that's just my bullshit.
Yeah, well, that's very true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no swearing.
It's past the watershed, man.
Yeah, well, obviously for you youngsters, especially you, Robert's been 18.
I'm 22 next month. What are you on about?
Oh, yeah? No.
My name is not Christopher Moss.
Oh, there we go. Right. Last lap from Mr. Assassin, I have to say. Well, I'll tell you what. Quick question for you, actually. So obviously, you're going to be watching F5 later on Wednesday, and also Tier 6. Let's get your ideas. I mean, you've watched F5 so far. I don't know if you've been watching the stream.
I've watched the races back on YouTube.
Okay, so let's talk about F5000 because obviously you commentate on that. What's your feelings about that league, actually, to be honest?
Tier 5 division, I think it's a really good division. There's action, no matter where you are in the field, up and down the grid. There seems to, I'm trying to think actually who's actually leading that championship. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to have a look. But yeah, it's competitive. It's it's pretty clean. It's good to watch. It's just a shame that the majority of the time it's a 50% race distance rather than the hundreds, which I like to do because there's more to do. But that's just how it is. But still, it's a great division to watch.
And Tier 6, obviously, a lot of people have got their opinions of Tier 6, I should say. We've been called the wacky races and stuff like that. I mean, what's your feelings about Tier 6?
Well, every division has its problems, really, and it's fair to say that that T6 has had them itself. You know, we just look back, we go back to Spain and Canada as like 2 examples. But if you take those out of the equation, you know, T6 has been, again, it's been another good division to watch this season. You know, it's the same that could be said for any division. It's just down to pot luck as to what happens, and you know what it is exactly that happens that kind of either helps the division as a whole, or you know, demoralises it in a way. But again, you know, there's been good racing. There's been some. Obviously, there's one man that's been kind of dominating T6, I will admit. But you know, there is still battles going on everywhere in the field, and you know, people like yourself, Tomo, you know, picking points up week in, week out. It's good to see.
Okay, we've got that sorted.
Right, what did you think I was going to say?
No, I wasn't going to say anything, you know what I mean? We were going through a bit of a quiet patch, so I thought I'd change the subject a little bit,
Yeah,
so,
fair
you know,
enough.
get your take, so, you know what I mean? But, what was I going to say? So, obviously, we've got one more race, we've got a nice 2-week break.
No, a 2-week break? What's a 2-week break?
2-week break. Yeah, we got a 2-week break. No, we got a 2-week break coming up. Monza. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, 2013 drivers liked that race. It was a very good race, but I think it's going to have some interesting things to say for these new cars. Thoughts about Monza?
Well, we're going to be seeing a lot higher straight line speeds, that's for sure. I mean, I think the quickest I've gone is 228, 229 miles per hour, and that's down the pit straight, you know, out as you come out of the parabolica and down into the first chicane. You know, we're going to be seeing cars going a lot quicker, and well, it's going to be interesting to see what people's braking points and how they brake is going to be interesting, just because everyone's is going to be different, and it could cause quite a lot of overtaking, but at the same time it could cause incident. You know, fingers crossed we get the first half and not the latter, but have to see how it goes. But generally, I am looking forward to it because Monza was the first track where I picked up my first win. Actually, it was my debut in GP2 actually. So you know, I used to be better when I first started in XRL, and then as soon as I moved up in the F1 division, bang, that was it, thrown in the deep end, and it hasn't quite been the same. But still, you know, it's a great track. You know, I love the fast corners of Ascari. You know, the first and second Lesmos and the Parabolica. It's a fantastic to drive around, and I would like to say I was glad to have the privilege, you know, to actually race in the Ferrari, you know, you know, have it as my home circuit in a way. I mean, obviously you've got that luxury yourself this season, Tomo. So what would you think it's going to be for yourself? Do you think you can do the Italian fans proud?
Maybe. There's a possibility. I do like Monza. Monza's quite a decent track, and yes, I am driving for the home team, shall I say, for Ferrari. Obviously, my former teammate Petrano's always said that I took I took a back payment, or you know, a handout to go to Ferrari. So, but you know, it's been a quite decent season for me with Ferrari. I've picked up more points this season than I did last season. So you know, and yeah, I think I've got something to say. I personally think I'm going to have a really good race tomorrow. Sorry, on Wednesday, shall I say. My pace has been really good. My qualifying pace is not very good, but race pace is a different story altogether. So, you never know.
Yeah, in the end, it's down to race pace, is what the majority of it that works out for you. As I just looked at the map actually, just back on with the GP3 division here tonight here at Spa-Francorchamps, and there is actually quite a few gaps developing. I mean, Smithfield's pulled away from Samson just on that last lap. I think Samson made a mistake, and everyone else is kind of a little bit spread out for the time being.
I'll tell you what, John Digweed, who had a really, really good stint with his prime tyres, is actually sitting in 5th. And I believe you've got Wes, and he's got a massive gap to Wes. Now, bearing in mind, obviously, I will just say that John Digweed is on a set of options, Wes is on a set of primes, but saying that though, pretty decent strategy from John Digweed to get some serious points. I mean, he's got another 14 laps. Don't know if he's going to stay in. He might come in when these other guys that let you pit. He might actually just surprise us and just go on for another set of options and try and do his best to try and pick up some serious points. But not bad strategy from him so far.
Indeed. Well, we'll just have to see how it plays out.
Well, I tell you, somebody who's going to be sitting there with a smile on his face. That is Smithfield. Currently, he's sitting in 3rd place in the podium positions with 14 laps to go, and his his championship rival, Wes, he's sitting in 6th. And that's a massive.
Smithfield pits. Smithfield is the first man to blink, and he's going to go to the options.
Well, there you go. Thought it would be lap 30. I thought it might be lap 30. We might see our first pit stop. So I was right in what I said. So there you go. So that's proof I do know a little bit about Formula 1. Not much, but I do know a little bit.
So. Would you like a bloody cookie?
Now, listen, okay, I know some of you...
I tell you what, look who Smithfield's come out just behind. Look who he's come out just behind.
There we go.
Yes, indeed.
But he's going to have options, and he's going to have, also, he might even have DRS, actually, to be honest. Maybe. So, we'll see what happens, but, one more lap with John Digwood. So I'm just doing my check.
Yeah, it's alright. I'm doing the same as myself whilst watching this battle between Smithfield and F1 Speed. The battle for P5. Smithfield obviously just making his pit stop onto fresh option tyres. Wes on pretty, well, no, I wouldn't say warm, but pretty old prime tyres now. He's still got his final pit stop to make. So Smithfield bar into it. He's making a move on the inside of the corner window name, and Smithfield takes F1 Speed for 5th place into P1 to go, and he holds that position. And that was a fantastic move there from Smithfield. We've seen some really good overtakes here tonight, bar that one incident that we had at the beginning. But everything otherwise, it has been a really good overtaking, opportunistic track here so far.
Yeah, it has been really good. That's going to really wind Wes up even more. The fact that not only is he on strategy, but he's already overtaking him. So by the time F1 Speed comes in for his pits, and also Hamster's coming into the pits, Hamster heads pits.
Indigo has.
I might be mistaken. Indigo has as well.
So John Digweed's now gone into 2nd, and he's F1 Speed pits.
Tell you what, as it stands, realistically, I reckon Indigo's going to do the undercut, because he might get a chance to do the undercut. That could be interesting. We could have a nice little battle for the last part. So we could have a really good battle between between Andre and Smithfield. John Digweed is going to have something to say about it as well. So
indeed, no.
This could be really bad for Wes at the moment. He's going to come out.
He's in 6th.
I think. Yes, 6th place. So it's not sorry for Wes at the moment.
I hate to be perhaps a little bit mean towards him,
harsh,
but
but you going to anyway, so you might as well just do it.
It's his worst race that I've seen him do so far this season.
Yeah, it has been a bit of...
Now, I know he had a good qualifying in the end. It kind of shocked us, and he had a good start, you know, and at some points it looked like I thought he was going to be actually battling for that final podium paying position, but I don't think the consistency of the pace is there. It just seems to be a bit lacklustre.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm alright on board with Andre. Let's see what he does. Is he going to come into the pits? Yes, he does. He is pitting right now, so he's into the pits. Let's have a look and see where John Digweed where he actually comes out. I think he might even come out in 2nd, because Indigo. Here comes Indigo, so we'll see.
I think John Digweed is going to provisionally take the lead. Indeed he is. So John Digweed actually leads with 12 laps to go.
Hold on a minute, here comes Indigo,
Nice.
And here we go.
Still going to be behind.
Ding ding, round 2.
So I think it's about round 17.
Well, you know, I wasn't keeping it.
I was guessing. It was just a figure of speech, man. Well, I've literally got one more lap to watch on Wes, then I have my last driver to do, and then that's it. And well, so John Digweed leads for the time being on his one-stop strategy, which is very interesting. He's got about a 3-second advantage or so over Andre, but the difference is, you know, Andre's tyres And in this instance are now 9 laps fresher compared to John Digweed's. I'm still riding on board with F1 speed. He's kind of all on his own, really, isn't he? Down in 6th place, nowhere near anybody in front or behind. And I think it's a case of just making it to the end of the race for him and getting those 8 points.
It could be a battle here. Potential battle for second place. Pays outgoing. That's in the front. XRS. Potentially could be a really good battle between these.
Well, I won't give it away to the viewers, but I do have to watch one of those 3 drivers. But which one is it?
Let's see. I reckon it's going to be XRSC.
Did you have to give that away?
Of course I did. Of course I did. Because people will be sitting there going, just tell us for crying out loud.
Well, they'll find out anyway, because as soon as F1 Speed's just gone around the bus stop chicane, which he has done now. There we go. So now, before I get on RC5, I'm going to have a look at the fastest lap times at the moment, and currently, fastest lap award goes to NMR Mr. Indigo on a 48.7, followed by John Digweed and Smithco close on 49.1s respectively themselves. So John Digweed is actually lapping really well still, and the gap's not really reducing as quick as I thought.
Tell you what, there's 10 laps left now. Lap 20.
Yeah.
You get to 90 laps. And he's done 9 laps. Stay on about 20 laps.
Indeed. Well, looking at the gap, I mean, I think Andre is closing. I don't think there's any doubt or question in my mind that he isn't, but it's a case of can he get ahead? And the other thing as well, could John Digweed, if he's not going to get the win, could he hang on for a podium? Because, you know, the top 5 are only separated, looking at it, by maybe 10 seconds at the most. And the top 4 are actually probably separated by about half of that.
Don't do it, Spoke. Don't do it. Get to keep this.
Indeed.
Keep that going. The XRFC.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, KS Outgoing just went wide at turn 1 and lost about a second. Well done.
Well, look, listen, I was enjoying it. I blame you because you had to join me.
Why do you go on board with the 2 leaders? Because it looks like Andre is pretty
I tell you,
close.
yeah, why? Well, I'm going to because
I'll tell you what, there's still a bit of a gap between 2nd and 3rd, so maybe John Digweed has a chance. But it depends, as we mentioned, how his tyres can hang on. Well, the gap looks to... Well, I'm still on board with RSC5, but it looks to me like the gap is under a second, if I'm not mistaken. back into first.
Back into third. Has to be careful because
You look second hand, don't they? Well, there's about a 4-second gap between him and NMR Mr. Indigo. Saying that, Indigo looks like he's being closed down by his teammate Smythical on this last stint. Maybe we could have some team orders.
maybe, but
Potentially, yes, as I've just seen Ascassin in the background make a DRS move on the back of KS Outgoing, so that was the battle for P8, and Ascassin now is into that 8th position. RC for Life has actually pulled away from the pair of them as a result of their battling, and he's looking pretty comfortable in that 7th place at the moment as Andre has come round the bus stop chicane. It's a complete lap 36, 8 laps to go including lap 37 for him to take a debut win. John Digweed trying to stay with him by the looks of it, but I think he's just dropping off ever so slightly. And I think he's going to have to look in his mirrors rather than ahead of him pretty soon, with the 2 Force Indias closing him down. Indeed, as Ascassin and KS Outgoing is still going at it. I've now finished my final quarter-coin duty, so let's get on board with this battle for what is P8 on the field. And KS Outgoing, getting very close to the back of Ascassin as they come into La Sorte, down the old pit straight. Well, what is it? Yeah, down the old pit straight and up into Eau Rouge. KS Outgoing tried to make a move on the Eau Rouge again. Bit of a collision. And once again, KS Outgoing trying to make a move done at Eau Rouge, and this time it nearly cost himself and not Ascassin.
Indigo managed to catch up with John Dick. You know what? I need a pick. I'm going to have a set of options on. There's quite a big gap between me and
Apologies there, I just had to take my mic off for a second as he was having a bit of a fit. And it still is. I tell you what though, Tomo, your mic sounds a bit different than what it did earlier.
it did, because unfortunately Indigo's got the rest on John Digweed.
Well, Indigo is trying to go close in the back of John Digweed, but it looks like he's being affected by the turbulent air as they come through this middle sector. Indeed, he's having to slow down a bit. And, well, Andre's actually pulled out a bit of a gap as a result, and he seems to be comfortable at the moment. And, well, what can John Digweed do in this position? Now he's in P2, still on for a very good result. What can Indigo do about that? Because he probably was not expecting him to be there. I'll have a look. He qualified 6th.
So the, but
Well, his fastest lap at the moment is a 1:48. Oh, he's just had a lag spike actually there, isn't Andre? It only cost him about a second and so, thankfully. But his best lap at the moment is a 1:48.1, which is more than respectable.
That is definitely. See what John D. Weed's made a bit of mistake, and that's opened the door. How's your race going?
Yeah, because Chris has told me that a couple of minutes ago, he's just said to me, tell me when you are done, hashtag frustration to the next level. So clearly something's gone on in GP2 that's not gone well. But back on GP3, and NMR Mr. Indigo has the DRS on the back of John Digweed as they come into last source. Less than just under 5 laps to go now for the in this Spa Grand Prix. And can NMR Mr. Indigo have enough of a... Can he close that gap with the slipstream and the DRS as they come through Eau Rouge now and then on up through Radion and onto the Camel Straight? Is he close enough? He's got that slipstream. There's his speed increasing. DRS deployed. He's going to try, and John Digweed's gone back to the racing line. But here comes Indigo, going to make a move on the inside line as he comes into the Lacombe section. Brilliantly done. Fantastic, clean as you like, as Indigo up into P2, and honestly where he's deserved to have been at least in this race, because he's had a superb race. I mean,
indeed, and I personally think out of everyone, best out of all of them, unbelievable. After the race, it's John Digweed, gave Indigo.
Certainly is. Well, I've just found out from Chris the reason. Chris says hashtag hi Tomo, but apparently they've had a lot of problems with their stream, so maybe that's why we've got more viewers than what we anticipated. So after I said about people coming over to us, looks like you had no choice anyway. So thank you for everyone who has stuck it out with us for the time being. You know, we have, well, Andre's just about to complete.
You know what? I've got something to say on that one. Hashtag ha 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 ha. There you go.
I think that fits quite perfectly.
Actually, I'll tell you what. They're doing free. And look at who's looking. We could have a Force India. It's 2-3 here because John Digweed. But so far behind.
Samster struggled in this last stint. His PB's only at 49.3, which is over a second off the quickest. That has surprised me considering how quick he was in qualifying. So
been a really good first couple.
This last stint has been very inconsistent and not quick enough. And Smithical is the same. I mean, he was the first man to pit onto the option tyres in this final stint, and it's kind of costing him, because even on John Digweed's on 6 or 7 lap all the tyres compared to Smithical, he's not really gaining.
I asked a message to Hudson saying, how's your race going? Great at all. It just sums you up what happened at GP3. Interesting too. We've had a really good race here. We've been hello talking in the background. We've had
Bobbert's just being Bobbert, basically, is what it is.
Yeah,
and it's like Tomo just being Tomo. tumbleweed just going across there. Nobody agreed.
That's because you're not even reading the messages. That's what it is.
Funny.
Well, with 2 laps plus this lap remaining. Well, I have to say though, I mean, I think it's really poor racing.
Yeah, it's either going to be a 4-point game for Smithville if it stays as it is, or it can improve to a 7.
It improves to 7.9. That brings it down to a point. That's going to be a massive.
Yeah, last race before the 2-week break that we had before we come back into the Asian continent and going into Singapore for our second night race of the season. Then definitely, Smithville I think would love to gain a few points back on the championship. Just shorter ways.
Hold on a minute.
Go on. No, Singapore's around 14, Russia's 15. Binge me tripping! Binge me tripping! I'm just being stupid. Have you ever watched Bruno or Borat or...
No.
Well, interestingly, I've just gone onto the Twitch channel box for the first time tonight, and the first thing that I see is Ciaru saying should have gone faster and given me something to race for, and then somebody called just_Lula saying can I join the F1 division, and Ciaru apparently saying yes.
I heard about Ciara. Maybe I should come back and teach you.
Yeah, I saw that. And apparently now Brosrin is saying, like Ciaru said, everybody can join the F1...
Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I mean, we need some, get some people looking at the F1. I mean, definitely best race for F1, I have to say. Unbelievable.
Tell you what though, battle for P3 is now on with just over a lap remaining. Smithfield is on the back of John Digweed as they come into Stavelot now and into Kerber Paul Ferrer. Smithfield has 1 lap to get ahead of that Ferrari driver. The battle for the final podium paying position. Andre is out in the lead in the Red Bull and he should, touch wood, take his debut win here in the GP3 division. Indigo looks comfortable for P2, but this third place is still going to go right to the very end. Smithfield, indeed it is. John Digweed's going to be defeated. Oh!
He's got to be sitting there. He's got to be sitting there, literally biting his fingernails down. And John Digweed's gone.
That's easy. Easy done. John Digweed's just got no traction out of the slow corners. He's going to have DRS though. You know, can he keep it close enough maybe to have a run with DRS on the Camel Straight? Because that could save his day. And then he's got to defend for his life. But look at the grip difference between John Digweed and Smithfield. Out of La Sauce, now through Eau Rouge for the final time. Up through Radion as John Digweed flies on my screen. He's going to have the DRS. There it goes. Flat wides open. Is Smithfield going to defend to the inside? No, he's not. Here comes John Digweed on in the inside into Lecou. Can he get the car stopped? Yeah, just about, and he's retaken third.
Wow,
he's retaken it.
Impressive. That was very impressive. Really well done from John Digweed. He does not want to give up. I think Wes is probably turned around and said, wait, please do not let him get third. John's gone, okay. So, but I'll tell you what, he's having problems around these corners. Over him, he's just literally saying, you know what, and he takes one mistake, John Digweed, you're going to make a mistake, and it's going to be soon. he was making a mistake, and he comes Smithical. He's just
This could be a...
like a shot,
Oh,
spinning blood.
getting very
You know,
close into
you know,
campus there for the final time. Andre has come out of Kirby Palfrey. He's only got Blanchimon and the bus stop chicane to go. Indigo is comfortable in second.
This is a great
This is
battle for
fantastic.
Superb battle. It's actually brilliant. We got a driver who's been on his own laps of option tyres for 19 laps. We got another driver who's been on option tyres for 14 laps. This is great battle. This could be really, really awesome for the last position, for third.
Andre, sorry to go across here. Andre takes the win. Here comes Smithical on the outside to the bus stop chicane. Can he get this? No. John Digweed's defending for his life. Can he get the traction? Yes, he has. He's going to get it. He's got third. Fantastic.
Unbelievable. What a way to finish the race. What a brilliant battle for third. That was fantastic. Absolutely super. Save the best for last.
Good way to end this. F1 speed, he's going to be gutted. Down in P6, 8 points. But he's only lost 4 points to Smithical. That's the only thing. I think he'll take that result.
Yeah, it's 6 points, but it could have been a lot worse. Hell of a lot worse. But the fact of the matter is, that is a fantastic performance there. You've got to give him credit where credit. Made his set up, he's 19 laps. We didn't know if it was going to work out, but he did. He got there already. He just held it.
Interesting. Escassin actually has a 10-second penalty, but there we go, everybody. Andre takes the win here at Spa-Francorchamps. 7.5 seconds clear of Indigo in the end, and John Digweed, as we saw, just hanging on to that third place ahead of Smithical. So let's get the top. If I don't drop my mic, that was bloody clever.
I'm just doing it now for you. I'm just doing it now.
Oh, you're doing it, are you? Okay.
I managed to get Indigo and I managed to get Andre, but I couldn't get quick enough.
Sorry, well, I will go and get him then.
Get him and wait for the free drivers to come in. And,
Well, would you like to do the honours, Tomo, or would you like me to?
yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll take it over and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, we'll just wait for John to come in if he's got his mic and everything. Then we can get this underway. There he is. Okay.
Right. So, first and foremost, congratulations to Andre. Andre, first race of the season and win. Superb from all the way. You had an awesome battle with Indigo as well most of the race. How'd your race go today?
Yeah. First of all, thank you very much. Apologize for my English. I hope you understand.
You're okay. Good.
It's all good.
What?
Very good.
Well, in the first lap we're okay. Everything was well, but after the restart, after the safety car, I struggled a lot with the tires, especially where they clean were the last laps of the first season. I hope to continue my pace in the next race, and
No, I
don't really know what to
very,
say.
very good. No, your pace was very good indeed, Andre. Mr. Indigo, I have to say, big shout out from you. You qualified, well, unfortunately you lagged down in qualification, but second place. I mean, I have to say, that was absolutely...
Indigo, just before you start, this is all I've got to give to you for that race. That was... gives my round of applause. Definitely. For once, I'm actually giving it to you. Not literally, obviously, because that would just be rude and wrong. But, yeah, 13th to 2nd. Had a chance on a win tonight, but still, do you think, do you think 2nd is kind of realistically where you would have come in, or do you think you could have taken it to Andre, maybe?
Maybe, but I mean, some kind of controversial track extend something to that. But I mean, I've gone from 15th to 2nd again. 15th a second in 5 laps. I'll take that.
Exactly. I mean, that was absolutely fantastic. You know, the way that you gained more than half the positions on the first lap itself, and then, as you mentioned, by the end of lap 5, you were up into second by the time that safety car came out. Obviously, where we did see that Tom Chambers did crash his vehicle, it was up at Eau Rouge actually, where this incident happened. Did you think that, you know, this obviously brought you back into play, brought you closer to Andre, and did you think, you know, obviously you stuck with him for a fair number of laps? Do you think you could have? I know you, and you did, you know, top and change, you know, all the time, you know, between you on the end of that first stint and on your prime stints as well. But maybe it was just that, maybe, I don't know, was it the consistency that he just was slightly better on, or was it something else?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if you saw it, but lap 14 when I pitted, I had like a little teleport because I was going to hit the inside wall.
Yes.
I
don't think I did see that actually. No.
I don't know. It only lost me like 2 seconds, but and then it just sort of threw me from there.
Still a fantastic performance though, Indigo. I have to say it was fantastic from you. But we have to go to somebody else who had a really, really good race, and that was John Digweed. Obviously, a different strategy altogether. 25 laps on your primes, and then you made that awesome battle with you and Smithy.
Is it me or is Tomo's mic going?
I don't know. Is it me? Is it you
I
or
don't
what?
know. Well, it seemed to keep going, just going. It's just that's just me.
Right. Okay.
Would you like me to continue for you?
Yeah,
Okay,
go,
so
carry
John,
on.
obviously, as Tomo was mentioning, you know, you did a very alternative strategy. You did a one-stop in the end, and obviously you had that, you know, you had to fend for your life, holding off Smithical on those final 2 laps. I mean, it was a fantastic spectacle for us to watch and the viewers that were watching on Twitch. And you know, it's a 3rd place for you. Is that, you know, where you would have thought you'd have come at the end of the race, or have you exceeded your expectations?
Well, exceeded them really. Didn't think the primes were the opposites were gonna last 20 laps, but they did somehow. But it was a struggle at the end, keeping Smithical behind.
I mean, yes, it was very close between you. You know, he managed to get ahead of you, but that DRS down the Camel Straight did give you that advantage. And obviously, coming into the bus stop chicane, you know, you managed to, you know, late brake it and still managed to keep the car on the track and just about get enough traction to hold on. So it's another podium for you this season. Do you think you can, you know, repeat that in what is Ferrari's home circuit next week at Monza?
Well, don't know about Monza. Hoping to do well, but it's not really one of my best tracks.
Well, obviously,
I'll
we'll
give
see
it a
as
shot.
it comes to next week. But congratulations to you, John, on 15 more than well-deserved points. So, guys, that has been the GP3 division tonight. Tomorrow night we have the F4 division, where there will be F1 Speed and myself in the box covering for that. Before we have the double header of F5 and T6, where we might even see the likes of maybe Tomo picking up his first win here at Spa. You never know; anything can happen. But I'd just like to thank our top 3 finishers: Andre on his debut qualifying. His pole position, his fastest lap and race win. Grand Slam for him here tonight, so fantastic performance from Enema Mr. Indigo. A more than valiant effort from last to second in that race, and John Digweed's alternative one-stop strategy getting him that final podium position. Join us tomorrow night where we'll hopefully see more racing action.